Worse than D#**th. New footage of Rick Harrison's inhumane life in prison goes viral. Internet can't believe what they're seeing. It started with a blurry video, 38 seconds of shaky footage that no one expected to come from inside one of America's most secure federal prisons. But once it dropped, everything changed. Rick Harrison, the sharp-witted star of the hit reality TV series Pawn Stars, who once greeted fans with his sarcastic grin and encyclopedic knowledge of collectibles, is now a shadow of the man millions knew. Gaunt, hunched, whispering to the air, as if still on camera. The clip, leaked by an alleged whistleblower, has ricocheted across the internet like a bullet through glass. And what it reveals is enough to send shivers down the spine of even the most hardened viewer. From stardom to solitary, the shocking fall of a pawn king. Let's rewind for a moment. Just a few short years ago, Rick Harrison was sitting comfortably in his Las Vegas pawn shop, cashing in on quirky antiques, vintage memorabilia, and obscure historical items. He was a household name, the charismatic face of one of History Channel's most popular shows. Millions tuned in to watch him bicker with customers, outwit sellers, and toss one-liners at his son Corey and the ever-lovable Chumlee. But fame, as we know, is a slippery slope. And Harrison's descent didn't just involve fading ratings or business setbacks, it turned criminal. Following a high-profile federal investigation, Rick was convicted on multiple counts of tax evasion, trafficking in stolen artifacts, and large-scale money laundering. The sentence? Life behind bars. And now, with this leaked footage, we're seeing exactly what that sentence looks like. Spoiler alert, it's far from just orange jumpsuits and cafeteria food. The footage that froze the internet. The video begins with a low, buzzing hum, the type of ambient noise you'd expect in an industrial freezer or a decaying basement. It's barely lit. The camera pans to the far corner of a tiny cell where Rick Harrison is sitting, legs pulled up to his chest, clinging to a wrinkled photo of what appears to be the gold and silver pawn shop. He's muttering something. The words aren't entirely clear, but listeners believe they hear names: Chumlee, Corey, old man. He laughs, then cries, then goes silent. His eyes dart to the ceiling, to the walls, to something unseen. The walls themselves are smeared. Whether it's dried food or something much more disturbing is unclear, though the color has sparked speculation. Inmates in the background can be heard mocking him, one shouting, "Where's your mummy now, Pawn King?" followed by a loud thud. Something hits him. He doesn't react. Social media exploded. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, millions of views within hours. Hashtags like #PawnStarsPrisonFootage footage and #JusticeForRick trended globally. Yet amid the online frenzy, one chilling phrase kept repeating in comment sections: "This is worse than death." What really happens behind bars? Unmasking the system. Viewers and critics alike are now questioning the treatment Harrison is receiving behind bars and what it says about the U.S. prison system at large. While prisons are certainly meant to enforce consequences, there's a line between justice and outright cruelty. Several former inmates have come forward since the leak, painting an even bleaker picture. One anonymous ex-con wrote in a Reddit AMA, "When they want to break someone in there, they don't use fists, they use sound. Lights. Sleep deprivation. They'll loop audio of your worst moment through vents. It's not just Rick. He's just the one you're seeing." Another claimed that Harrison has been placed in extended solitary confinement, not for protection, but as a punishment disguised as security protocol. This former prisoner alleges guards take pleasure in taunting him during meal deliveries, even denying him food altogether if he doesn't perform for them. One of the more disturbing claims? That guards sometimes blare episodes of Pawn Stars over the loudspeaker, forcing Rick to listen to his past success while wasting away in the present. It's a psychological warfare tactic that's both haunting and surreal. A star reduced to a shell. Mental health under siege. This isn't just about someone being locked up. This is about a human being's mental breakdown captured in real time, and the internet watching every frame. Experts who've weighed in say Harrison's behavior in the clip, talking to himself, gripping an old photo, laughing at invisible conversations, could be signs of what's known as SHU syndrome, a condition developed after prolonged solitary confinement. Symptoms include hallucinations, depression, hypersensitivity to stimuli, and in some cases, permanent psychological damage. Dr. Ava Martinez, a clinical psychologist specializing in prison mental health, told an independent news outlet, "The man in that video is not just stressed. He's dissociating. He's mentally broken. What we're witnessing is psychological deterioration accelerated by prolonged abuse." If these reports are accurate, we're watching a slow-motion execution. Which begs the question, is this justice? Or is this institutional revenge? America reacts. Outrage, sympathy, and a surge of conspiracy theories. As the footage circulated at lightning speed, the internet did what it does best, split in every direction. Some viewers couldn't look away. Others couldn't believe their eyes. And then there were those who insisted there had to be more to the story. Reddit threads exploded with theories, some wild, some strangely plausible. One user claimed Harrison was being punished not just for his crimes, but for what he knew, implying his ties to rare and ancient artifacts may have put him on the wrong side of secretive, powerful groups. Another suggested he was being made an example of because of the show's behind-the-scenes financial dealings with powerful Hollywood insiders. But for every theory, there were just as many voices crying out in sympathy. "I didn't even like Pawn Stars that much, but no one deserves to be treated like this," one TikTok user posted in a teary-eyed reaction clip that racked up over 2 million likes. "It's like watching someone fade in real time." Another tweet, which went viral, simply read, "They locked him up, yes, but they're trying to erase his mind. And that's terrifying." Human rights organizations, too, began weighing in. One watchdog group issued a formal statement urging the Department of Justice to investigate the conditions of Rick Harrison's incarceration, citing potential violations of the Eighth Amendment, protection against cruel and unusual punishment. But even as pressure mounted, the prison system remained silent. No press conference, no denial, just an eerie, bureaucratic void that only fueled more speculation. The faces from his past, who's speaking out and who isn't. As the world collectively tried to process what it was seeing, the question arose. Where were the people closest to Rick? Corey Harrison, Rick's son and co-star, has remained uncharacteristically quiet since his father's sentencing. Despite running his own version of the pawn business in Vegas, he's made no public statements, posts, or media appearances related to the leaked footage. Some say it's guilt. Others say it's fear. Chumlee, the fan-favorite goofball who brought comic relief to Pawn Stars, did post a cryptic Instagram story days after the footage went viral. It showed a candle burning next to an old photo of him and Rick. No caption, just a burning flame. Fans took it as a silent tribute, or maybe a quiet protest. But silence from the family didn't stop others from speaking out. Former employees, ex-business partners, even reality TV producers started chiming in, many suggesting the Rick Harrison they knew was a complicated man, but not the monster he'd been painted as in court. One ex-crew member shared this. Rick could be tough, even arrogant, sure. But he was smart. He cared about legacy. He talked about death like it was inevitable, but prison? He feared that. He always said if he ever got locked up, it'd be the end of him. And based on the footage, he may not have been wrong. Inside the cell, a visual breakdown of Rick's new world. For those still wondering whether the video exaggerates his condition, let's paint the scene using real observations pulled from the viral footage and eyewitness accounts. The cell is barely 8 feet by 10. The walls are stained. Some speculate with dried food, others say worse. There's one steel toilet, no seat. No bed frame, just a torn mat that looks barely thicker than cardboard. The lighting is dim and flickers constantly, like a scene ripped from a psychological horror film. Rick's appearance is a gut punch. His iconic beard is mostly gone, either shaved poorly or falling out from stress. His cheeks are hollow, his eyes glassy. His prison-issued clothes hang off his now thin frame, sleeves rolled up not for style, but likely for comfort in the heat or to reveal injuries we can't fully see. That old photograph? Experts have tried enhancing the image and confirm it shows the exterior of the gold and silver pawn shop, framed, perhaps, in a moment of longing. It's creased, weathered. He's seen gripping it like it's the last tether to a life that's slipped away. And then, of course, there are the sounds. Muffled screams. Inmate laughter. One voice eerily mimicking Rick's famous TV lines, "Best I can do is $5." Repeated mockingly over and over from the next cell. Another moment captures a slam, metal against metal. Harrison flinches, but doesn't react. It's a haunting display of someone who's either tuned out or given up. What comes next? The internet's morbid obsession and the ethics of watching. Here's the difficult truth. We're obsessed with downfall stories, especially ones where the once powerful lose everything. The Rick Harrison footage has become a twisted form of entertainment for some, reaction videos, memes, even parody skits. But what does it say about us? Psychologists point out that watching public figures unravel gives some viewers a sense of justice, or worse, schadenfreude, a dark joy in others' pain. But there's a fine line between justice served and cruelty consumed. Should we be sharing this footage? Should platforms allow it to go viral? Should we feel sorry for Rick Harrison, or is this just karma catching up? It's a messy debate, one that doesn't have a simple answer. And as new footage continues to trickle in, the moral dilemma only grows. Leaked audio. "I wish I never touched that coin." Just when you thought it couldn't get more bizarre, a new leak dropped online late last night, this time audio only. In the clip, a raspy voice, believed to be Rick, whispers repeatedly, "I wish I never touched that coin." What coin? Speculation now swirls around a mysterious artifact featured in a now-deleted episode of Pawn Stars, rumored to have ties to an ancient secret society. The episode in question was pulled shortly after airing, with producers citing legal complications. Fans now believe Rick's downfall started the day he took that coin into the shop. Was it cursed? Was it connected to a powerful group?